Elena had never planned on feeling so restless on a quiet Thursday afternoon. The office had drained her completely, leaving her mind buzzing with unfinished tasks, unanswered emails, and a constant pressure she could not seem to shake off. So on an impulse she decided to book a massage at a small spa she had passed several times but never entered, a hidden little place tucked between a florist and a bookstore, the kind of spot that seemed almost magical with its soft lights glowing behind frosted glass, promising calm and quiet. As she walked in, the scent of lavender and sandalwood enveloped her immediately, and she felt a flicker of relief, the tension in her shoulders tightening even as she took in the delicate plants lining the hallway, the quiet instrumental music floating through the air, and the gentle chime of a small bell as someone entered behind her, reminding her of a delicate, secret world she had almost forgotten existed in the midst of her busy life. And when Adrian, her assigned massage therapist, greeted her with a warm, reassuring smile that reached his eyes and carried a quiet kindness, she felt something in her chest lift unexpectedly, a small, unfamiliar flutter of curiosity and anticipation she hadn't felt in years, a sense that maybe, just maybe, this ordinary moment could turn into something more meaningful than she expected. Yet she also felt a ripple of nervousness, an awareness that she was stepping into a space where she would have to let go of control and allow someone else to touch her in a way that was intended to be healing. And though she had been to massages before, she had never felt this kind of electricity in a waiting room or a simple greeting, a subtle tension that was not uncomfortable but strangely thrilling, like the edge of a story waiting to unfold. As she changed into the spa-provided robe and entered the softly lit room where the massage table sat in the center, surrounded by flickering candles and a faint mist from an essential oil diffuser, she noticed the careful attention to detail, how every element seemed designed to ease the mind and open the heart. And as she lay down, the first touch of Adrian's hands on her shoulders made her startle slightly at the unexpected warmth and firmness, the careful pressure moving over the knots in her muscles that had accumulated over weeks of stress and sleepless nights. Yet beneath the physical relief, she felt something deeper, something stirring in her heart, a sudden awareness that this was more than a routine appointment, that the calm tone of Adrian's voice, the quiet confidence in his movements, and the way he seemed fully present in the moment created a space where she felt safe to breathe, to let go, and to be seen in a way she rarely allowed herself to be, a sensation that brought both comfort and a tiny thrill, a realization that human touch, when given with genuine care, could awaken emotions she hadn't acknowledged in herself for a long time. As the massage progressed, each stroke felt deliberate, yet effortless, each motion encouraging her to release tension she hadn't even known she carried. And as Adrian worked, she thought about the unexpected nature of life, how small decisions, like stepping into this quiet spa on a whim, could ripple outward in ways that felt almost magical. And her thoughts wandered to memories of past disappointments, relationships that had ended with gentle sadness or abrupt finality, moments where she had felt invisible or misunderstood. And yet here, in the quiet of this room, with soft music filling the background and the faint scent of jasmine lingering in the air, she felt an unusual sense of possibility, a hint that maybe connections could be forged in unexpected ways, that perhaps even a single encounter could shift the course of her day, or even her life, in ways she could not yet understand. She noticed the subtle care in Adrian's expression, how he seemed attuned not only to her physical needs but to a deeper rhythm, an awareness of when to apply pressure, when to pause, when to allow silence to settle between them. And in that silence, she felt a peculiar warmth, a quiet recognition that sometimes human presence alone could speak louder than words. And as she let herself sink deeper into the table, the music and the scent and the gentle strength of Adrian's hands combined to create a cocoon of safety, a moment where the outside world with its endless obligations, demands, and anxieties seemed to dissolve completely, leaving only the simple, profound experience of being fully in a single, unexpected moment. Her mind drifted to thoughts she hadn't allowed herself before, wondering if Adrian sensed the same subtle connection, a curiosity about whether he felt the same gentle spark she did, though she quickly dismissed the thought as improbable. Yet the smile he had offered earlier lingered in her memory, soft but undeniably present, and she realized with a start that she was not just relaxed physically, but emotionally touched, in a way that was tender, stirring and new. A combination of longing and curiosity she had not expected to feel at a spa. As the session neared its end, and Adrian's hands moved across her back in one final series of careful, flowing strokes, Elena became acutely aware of the fleeting nature of this encounter, of how ordinary moments could suddenly carry extraordinary significance. And she resolved quietly to savor the memory, to let it linger in her thoughts, and to notice the subtle changes in her heartbeat and her breathing that were the unmistakable signs of emotional resonance. She stood slowly, feeling lighter yet energized, and as Adrian handed her a glass of water and offered a polite, lingering smile that seemed to carry more than just professional courtesy, she felt a mix of gratitude, excitement, and wonder, the kind of feeling that made her step out into the city streets afterward with a new sense of possibility, a subtle glow in her expression that caught the attention of strangers passing by. And though the world remained the same outside, she felt that she had crossed an invisible threshold, that an ordinary decision to book a massage had unexpectedly become a small turning point, a moment that would replay in her mind with gentle insistence, a memory of calm, connection, and the first stirrings of something beautiful that had nothing to do with what she had expected, and everything to do with a simple act of courage, allowing herself to step into the unknown, to be present, and to feel, fully and without reservation, the quiet magic of a human connection that had appeared, surprisingly, when she least expected it. And as she walked back to the busy streets, the warm sun brushing her face, she knew with quiet certainty that this day would linger in her heart, that the memory of Adrian's attentive hands, the soft music, the candlelight, and the sense of being truly seen would follow her like a gentle, persistent echo, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary beginnings came from the smallest, simplest choices, and that life, in all its unpredictable beauty, could surprise her when she dared to take a single step into something unfamiliar, yet entirely welcoming. Elena thought the massage would end with simple relief, a momentary easing of tension, but as the days passed, she couldn't stop thinking about Adrian, about the quiet, steady way he had made her feel seen, about the warmth of his presence that lingered in her thoughts like a gentle echo. And when she returned to the spa, curiosity mingled with a nervous excitement that she hadn't felt in years, a sense that something more than relaxation awaited her. And as Adrian welcomed her again with that familiar, reassuring smile, she felt a subtle flutter in her chest, a recognition that this was not just a routine encounter, that their connection, however small, had taken root in the brief moments of touch, glance, and shared silence, and the room itself seemed to hold a quiet magic, the soft lighting, the faint aroma of essential oils, and the tranquil music forming a cocoon where the outside world could not intrude, where only the two of them existed in a space of trust and gentle curiosity. And as Adrian guided her onto the massage table, she noticed small details she hadn't before. The careful way he adjusted the sheets to ensure comfort, the way he asked questions softly to gauge her tension, the subtle way he met her eyes when she looked up, offering reassurance without words, and it struck her how rare it was to encounter someone so attuned, someone who could hold space for her not just physically but emotionally. And as his hands moved across her back again, each stroke deliberate yet effortless, Elena felt a wave of calm that went deeper than muscle relief, a sense of being understood without explanation, of being noticed in the quietest, most meaningful way. And the more she allowed herself to relax, the more she became aware of the subtle rhythms between them, the soft shifts of posture, the brief glances, the quiet breath shared in the same space, and it created a tension that was neither uncomfortable nor inappropriate, but filled with anticipation, a gentle, unspoken promise of something more. And she realized she had not expected to feel a bond this quickly, that their connection had grown not through grand gestures, but through attentiveness, presence, and the courage to be fully present in a moment. And as Adrian paused to offer a few stretches and guided movements, she found herself laughing softly at small shared jokes, the ease of conversation surprising her, the intimacy of laughter blending naturally with the physical closeness, a reminder that human connection often thrived in ordinary moments, unnoticed until it revealed itself with sudden clarity. And she wondered if he felt the same, if he had noticed the way her shoulders softened under his hands, the way her breathing slowed, the subtle way her heart seemed to skip when their eyes met. a curiosity that both frightened and thrilled her. Yet she allowed herself to embrace it, to let the experience unfold without expectation, savoring the gentle tension that hinted at possibility. And she thought about the countless hours she had spent guarding her heart, the disappointments and heartbreaks that had taught her caution. Yet in this room, with Adrian's calm presence and the quiet intimacy of touch and attention, she felt the walls she had built around herself begin to soften, melting like ice under the warmth of a spring sun. And it made her realize that connection was not about force or rush, but about openness, patience, and the willingness to meet someone where they were. And as the massage continued, her mind wandered not to fantasies or unrealistic hopes but to the simple, profound awareness that moments of genuine attention could be transformative, that a single act of care could awaken feelings she had long believed dormant, and she marveled at the paradox of it all, how ordinary routines like a massage could carry extraordinary emotional weight when approached with intention and empathy. And the more she allowed herself to notice the subtleties, the tilt of his head, the gentle pressure of his hands, the way he seemed attuned to her smallest reactions, the more she felt a warmth blooming inside her, a quiet acknowledgement that her heart had recognized a kindred spirit even before her mind had caught up. And with each passing minute, the space between them seemed charged with a tender electricity, subtle yet undeniable, a feeling that spoke not of urgency but of depth, patience, and the gentle unfolding of trust. And when Adrian finished the session and offered her a quiet, lingering smile that carried both professional courtesy and something more personal, Elena felt a rush of gratitude and longing intertwined, a bittersweet awareness that the moment was ending yet that it had left an indelible mark on her day, on her spirit. And as she left the spa, the soft echo of the music, the faint scent of oils, and the memory of his hands lingered like a delicate thread connecting her to a possibility she had never expected. And walking through the bustling streets, she found herself smiling at small things, noticing how colors seemed brighter, how the air felt lighter, how ordinary moments held subtle significance, and she realized that this connection, however quiet and tentative, had opened a door in her heart she had long kept closed, inviting her to step through with courage, curiosity, and the gentle hope that sometimes, when life presented an unexpected encounter, it could lead to something far more beautiful than she had imagined. And in the days that followed, the memory of Adrian's attentiveness, the calm intimacy of the shared moments, and the unspoken understanding that had passed between them returned repeatedly, each time stirring her heart, each time reminding her that genuine connection was rare, precious, and capable of transforming not just a single afternoon, but the way one viewed life, love, and the possibilities that waited quietly in the unlikeliest of places. And she found herself anticipating the next meeting with a mix of excitement and nervousness, savoring the unknown, aware that something delicate and beautiful was beginning to bloom, a story unfolding in small gestures, soft smiles, and gentle touches, the kind of story that didn't rush or demand, but invited her to be fully present, to feel deeply, and to embrace the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. And as she reflected on the experience, she understood that the massage was only the beginning, that the emotional resonance, the subtle spark, and the tender connection were gifts she could carry forward, allowing her to approach the next encounter with openness, warmth, and the quiet thrill of discovering that life, in its unpredictable beauty, often gave us moments that were far richer and more meaningful than we could ever plan or anticipate. Moments like this, when two people met by chance and something small, gentle, and unassuming turned into a first thread of a story that could grow into something extraordinary, a reminder that love and connection often begin quietly, in the soft spaces between ordinary actions, in the unspoken understanding of hearts meeting in a shared, fleeting moment. And Elena knew with a clarity that surprised her that she was ready to see where this thread might lead, to allow the subtle, growing bond with Adrian to unfold naturally, beautifully, and with a patience born of genuine care, the kind of patience that promised that when two people were ready to truly see each other, even a simple massage could become the beginning of something unforgettable, a memory and feeling that would linger, shaping not just an afternoon, but the way she approached life, relationships, and the delicate transformative power of human connection. Elena couldn't stop thinking about Adrian, the memory of his calm presence and gentle attentiveness replaying in her mind at unexpected moments, and when an email from the spa appeared inviting her Back for a follow-up session, she felt a surge of excitement mixed with nervous anticipation, a flutter in her chest that reminded her of the way her heart had responded the first time, and she hesitated briefly before replying yes, her fingers hovering over the keyboard as she realized that curiosity and longing had taken hold, that she wanted to see him again, not just for relaxation, but to explore the subtle, unspoken connection that had begun to grow between them. And when the day arrived, she walked into the spa with a combination of anticipation and self-awareness, noticing how her steps felt lighter, how her mind seemed to hum with possibilities, and the moment Adrian appeared, smiling warmly as if greeting an old friend, her pulse quickened in a way that startled her, a reminder that human connection could ignite feelings that words alone could not capture. And as she settled onto the massage table, she found herself more relaxed yet more alert, aware of the energy in the room, the gentle hum of music, the faint scent of essential oils, and the subtle rhythm of her own breathing. As she tried to quiet the thoughts that were rushing through her mind, yet they refused to stop, instead weaving a tapestry of anticipation, curiosity, and tender hope, and as Adrian began his work, each touch deliberate and measured, she noticed the small ways he seemed to respond to her reactions, adjusting pressure, pausing at the right moments, creating a sense of intimacy that was gentle, respectful, and profoundly moving, and she realized that this connection was no longer just a fleeting moment of comfort. It was evolving into something more, a shared understanding that went beyond words, and she felt herself opening, allowing the experience to flow naturally, trusting him, trusting the space, trusting the delicate bond forming between them, and as he moved to her shoulders and back, she found herself laughing softly at light-hearted conversation, a laugh that felt easy and free, reminding her that human connection could be playful, tender, and deeply satisfying all at once. And as their eyes met briefly during the session, she felt a warmth that went beyond the physical, a recognition that perhaps Adrian sensed the same subtle spark, the same gentle curiosity that had lingered since their first encounter, and though neither spoke of it directly, the silence between them carried meaning, a quiet acknowledgement that something extraordinary was unfolding, and as the massage continued, she became more aware of the emotions rising within her, a blend of hope, excitement, vulnerability, and longing, and she realized that this was a rare gift, the kind of connection that was built not through grand gestures but through small, thoughtful attentiveness, the kind of care that noticed the slightest change in posture, the faintest shift in breathing, the way a smile or a glance could convey more than words ever could, and as Adrian guided her through stretches and gentle movements, she felt the tension in her body melting, replaced by a warmth that spread through her chest and into her heart, a sensation that was both thrilling and comforting, and she marveled at how quickly a relationship could begin to take shape in the quiet, unassuming moments of life, how a simple massage could evolve into an experience that touched not just muscles, but emotions, aspirations, and a longing for connection, and she found herself imagining the possibilities, wondering where this path might lead, yet savoring each step, each touch, each glance as it came, knowing that patience and presence were the keys to allowing something real to develop. And when the session ended, Adrian suggested grabbing a coffee nearby, a casual invitation that carried a weight of significance she hadn't expected, and as she agreed, her heart raced, excitement mingling with nervousness, yet she felt a sense of readiness, an openness to let the story unfold naturally without forcing it. And as they walked together through the streets, sharing stories about work, childhood memories, and dreams for the future, Elena discovered a warmth in Adrian that went beyond his professionalism, a depth of character, kindness, and humor that drew her in effortlessly, making her feel seen and appreciated in ways that few people had ever managed. And she noticed how easy the conversation was, how comfortable, how unhurried, yet charged with subtle meaning, and with every word, smile, and shared laugh, she felt the bond between them deepen, the tentative spark from the massage evolving into something more tangible, more emotional, more alive, a connection that felt at once exciting and safe, thrilling and gentle, a rare blend that made her heart both race and settle. And as they sipped coffee together, watching people pass by, she realized that the simple act of returning to the spa had opened a door she hadn't known existed, a door to intimacy, understanding, and the beginning of something potentially beautiful. And the more she observed Adrian, his gentle gestures, the way he listened, the subtle expressions that revealed thoughtfulness and empathy, the more she felt a magnetic pull, a curiosity to know him better, to explore not just the surface of conversation, but the depths of personality, emotion, and shared experience. And though part of her wondered if she was reading too much into the encounter, another part recognized the authenticity of the connection, the genuine care, and the small, undeniable chemistry that didn't need labels or explanations to exist. And as the afternoon turned into evening, they walked side by side under the soft glow of streetlights, the quiet comfort of shared presence allowing both excitement and introspection to coexist. And Elena reflected on the strange and beautiful trajectory that had led her here, from a simple decision to book a massage, to an unanticipated feeling of trust and attraction, to a tentative friendship that carried hints of something deeper. And she felt gratitude for the unexpected twists of life, the subtle ways in which human beings could touch each other's hearts.